Hey Kimmy, good to see you. Obviously, it was a really unfortunate way for the last weekend to pan out at the end, and also with the threat of Ferrari. How does that kind of change evaluate the way that you're looking ahead to this weekend?
I mean, for sure, it was an unfortunate end of the weekend, but I was still happy with the race, and unfortunately, these things happen. So, the most important is how you bounce back, and I'm sure the team has been working super hard, and they've been trying to fix this issue, especially for this weekend. And on my side, it's again different weekend, different track, new challenge. It's gonna be very warm, and it's not an easy track, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I mean, when I got home, I just saw these amazing videos from all my fans, so I just spent hours reposting everything that I saw, and it's very emotional. And then back down to ground zero and back on the grind. It took a couple of days to get back to ground zero, and back with the focus on trying to arrive with the same energy and the same focus. Really proud of the team. Was back in Italy last week, and seeing just how hard everybody is working to bring not only upgrades to the last race, but just continuing to improve, and seeing them pushing so much. And then to come here with our first step on the engine side. It's a small step, but we'll take it. It's all about one foot in front of the other.
Ferrari have clearly had a great chassis this whole season. Their power unit has been a bit behind us, quite a bit behind us, but suddenly in Barcelona they seem to made a step forward, so they were much closer to us in terms of their straight line speed. And they're bringing a lot of upgrades, which has been quite surprising for us. We've brought one upgrade this season so far. We've got some in the pipeline, but Ferrari and McLaren every couple of races are bringing bits to the car. So we need to keep on pushing, and I think every time a team is bringing a new bit to the car, they're making big steps forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to just have a clean weekend. Obviously, I think Montreal and Monaco has been difficult because the feeling just was not there, and then we changed a few things for Barcelona, and it was back there. So the feeling is there, which is a good thing. On the other hand, the last 2 weekends there was no points on the Sunday for mechanical issues. So I just hope we get back to where we should be, and Lewis has done an incredible job. The team has been pushing massively also on new parts, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully be back on the podium, if not more, from this weekend.
There's 4 cars that are much quicker than us. That Red Bull has a lot of upgrades this weekend as well. Ferrari with the power unit upgrade. So for the time being, I think a 5th is the best we can hope for just on pure performance. But racing nowadays is racing always has not been just based on pure performance. It's based on not making mistakes in qualifying. It's about having a car that makes the checkered flag, and that's what we've capitalized on last weekend. But it's also what other people have capitalized on us in weekends before. So there's many things that make a good weekend, not just me liking a track and me always performing well here. But it's a track that's been kind to us in the past, so I'm hoping that's the case this weekend. I just don't know if it can get much better than what we had in Barcelona, but we'll certainly give it a good shot.
I think for us as a team here, Ferrari took a good step forward in Barcelona. Mercedes is still the benchmark as well. And I'm hearing along the grapevine that Red Bull have got some big things as well. So it's not going to be easy for us. Yes, it has been a good track for us in the past, but there's no illusion for us that we're suddenly going to be amazing here and the team to beat. We're definitely not going to be. So hopefully we can get close and kind of be in the position that we have been in at certain points where we can capitalize on dramas for others. But I think to be able to do it on merit or pure pace is going to be a bit of a stretch. But I'd like to be happily surprised.
Home Grand Prix for the team, I know it's always very important. Luckily, of course, already we've had a lot of great results here. So we just come into this as trying to do the best we can. I know that there are always a lot of Dutch fans as well. So it just makes it a very nice and, in general, enjoyable weekend, seeing the atmosphere. And then, of course, we focus on on the performance, and we try to do the best we can.
I think the car performance we've seen from the start of the year, we seem to be able to fight in the points pretty much consistently every weekend. Age the midfield, it's kind of swinging, one way or another, depending the weekend, depending the track. Sometimes we were a bit closer to the top 4 at the start of the year. Now we kind of dropped slightly. The last few weekends been slightly more complicated, but we're still there and we've been very consistent. So, yeah, happy on one side. On the other side, I like to see us, catching the train ahead of us a little bit more, and hopefully that's what we'll be able to do in the coming weekends.
So far this year, probably one good start. It was like in the sprint race in Canada. First race start in Monaco, and that was it. I think every other start I lost places or.
What's causing the fluctuation from one race to the next?
Well, that's what we are trying to figure out, and it's complicated. And to make it clear, it's not human error on my side. That's for sure. I think procedure is simple, and I know how to achieve it. It's just deeper issues, and I told the guys it's the main point to focus on the last week, since Barcelona is the only thing not the only thing, but it's what they've been focusing very hard on. And let's see from FP1 how I feel. But in Barcelona, the whole weekend, every time I dropped the clutch, it was going nowhere, and it was like that the whole time. So let's see how we did the last couple of days to try and understand and see if we apply it.
Normally Barcelona is a good test for how the car is on a more normal track compared to places like Canada and obviously Monaco. So it's very positive for us, but we don't necessarily expect it to be exactly the same. So I think we're optimistic, but especially here, it's always very, very close. So I think the way we sort of execute through the weekend is going to have to be very, very important.
We've done a few steps and measures to understand what's happened in Barcelona. It's a very tough track, but also it's quite a, let's say, it exposes challenges on the car. So we understand a lot more about it now. There's still things we need to learn about our car, and this weekend hopefully we can have a productive Friday and try to take some performance into the rest of the weekend.
Trying to make the most out of the car we have. I think we need to improve quite a lot the car. As Flavio, he's not very conformist, and when we finish P6 in a race, he goes back in the factory, and he's the one not happy at all and trying to improve more and more because he wants to win the podium and doesn't want to be P6. I really appreciate that, and I think nowadays the way to put a team that was P10 last year back into podiums and fighting for race wins, it's the way that he's driving the team forward, and we are all working on the same direction. We are all wanting more and more, even though we are doing better. We want to be closer to the top teams, and unfortunately at the minute we are a bit far, so we are trying to fight hard and understand why the areas we need to improve.
Being honest, it's not a track I've always loved, but I think it is a very cool track. It's very unique. It's got a big difference in corners. You've got low speed, medium speed, high speed, lots of it used to be lots of DRS, so it was good for overtaking. I still think even this year, with the overtake mode and stuff, there will be a lot of overtaking opportunities, so it makes the race a bit more exciting. There's lots of sort of battling you can have also on sort of a racecraft sort of side. You need to be quite switched on. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of the weekend. I think it should be fun.
We're not bringing any major upgrades to the car this weekend, so in theory, on paper, our performance shouldn't change massively, but there's a few more low-speed corners where we know we are a bit more competitive compared to Barcelona. There's still another 4 corners that are similar to Barcelona. It's going to be hot, which we knew it didn't suit us in Barcelona. Rough tarmac that creates some decks, so multiple points to argue. It could be better or it could be worse. In the end, what we need to do is focus on our own business, see how we can keep improving the car, keep trying things, maybe thinking a bit outside the box on setup, and see where that gets us.
Hopefully we have a couple of solutions now for this weekend and moving forwards. Still learning the car. I think it's Barcelona really exposed us. I think as a track it was a bit of an eye opener, where firstly the gap to the top teams, but also just a difficult car to drive. And so we're coming back to Austria, a track that normally suits us a little bit more. So there's a bit more momentum coming into this weekend. And I guess in many ways just stay enjoying it during this time.
We didn't have the best balance in the car in Barcelona, and that led to quite high tire degradation. So lacking grip, sliding tires, and basically having to box early, made the race quite difficult. So we fell short of coming into the points. But this weekend is a different weekend, completely different track, obviously, and we have some new parts on the car as well, which is going to be exciting to see in which direction it goes. So I'm looking forward to test that, obviously in FP2 because Rio is in FP1. I'm excited to see how we can go into this race.
Obviously, Austria is a good track. I have good memories from here. Also, last year was my first points here. So, as you said, we are very close to get to the points. In the last 2 races, we have been 1 position away of it. But obviously, at the end of the day, you need to optimize everything and then put it together. And I think we were not really able to do that. Struggling a bit on the start, especially in Barcelona. I think I lost many of my positions there, and then to recover all of that, it takes a lot of time. And but I'm excited for this weekend, and I think we can do a good job here.
I've been in Aston Martin already a few years, and we have the best people in the team. We started with the wrong foot, yes. It takes time to recover in Formula One, but rest assured that we have 1,000 people working in Silverstone from 8 to 8, to improve the situation. The strategy at the beginning of the year was to introduce a new package, later in the season around summertime, and we stick with that decision, all together, drivers, team, management, and we need to go through this pain, in couple of races, but we accept it, and we are working hard.
Of course, it's different, being a factory team now, being Audi. It certainly there has been a change and a shift in the team. All positive. Like I said, I think the first 5-6 races were obviously tough for us, challenging on many areas or in many areas, but I feel we've battled through it, and really digged ourselves out, but we haven't gotten the reward yet. So. We keep working and pushing for that we will force it to come.
It's going to be warm, that's the first thing, but we've got some new upgrades, side pods, bodywork, new floor, which should be in theory quite a good step forward. So, but on top of that, we've been working on the reliability issues we've had in the last 2 races, and I think that's still the priority, as I haven't finished the last 2 events.
We definitely want to make good progress. We can see that we are getting closer towards the midfield, especially over a lap. I think still we are lacking quite a bit on the degradation side with the tires. We are bringing an upgrade here that hopefully can get us even closer, and once we are there, it's all coming down to the little details. I think operationally, the team has been improving quite a lot, making really big steps so far. So hopefully this upgrade can put us a lot closer.
Well, we know where we are as a team. We know that right now it's challenging for everybody, but we also know that there's upgrades coming in the pipeline. So it's just about being patient and getting to Budapest, Spa, those races when we should introduce some upgrades.